in your family group as to what that would be. Sunday, we're going to have church at 10:30 a.m. at Ross Hills Park. We'll be talking about that a little bit more. Cole's going to come and talk about our camping trip, but that's this coming weekend. For the campus ministry, Tuesday night is Bible talk as usual in First Street Towers at 8:30 p.m. And Friday night, normally we have devotional in Croc at 7:30 or at 7. There is no devotional this Friday because we're doing our worship night together with the whole church on Friday night. And again, Cole will mention that as well. We'll circle back to this in a second, Cole. The Mac Retreat is going to be in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from right now, the campus ministry will be in Wisconsin for our big fall retreat we do with all of the Midwest campus ministries. That Sunday, church is going to be in Indy. So we are here this Sunday. Next Sunday, we are where?
Ross Camp.
At Ross Camp at Ross Hills Park. And then the following Sunday, while we are in Wisconsin, y'all will be in Indy. And then after that, we'll be back here. But if you have not registered yet for the Mac Retreat, that is okay. There is still the option to do so. There is still opportunities for fundraising. Let's not let money be an issue. We can help get you there. This is an awesome time. Every year we get together with the campus ministries in the Midwest. And then also coming up, this is kind of more of a save the date. This is November 1st and 2nd, so it's still about a month off, but this is going to be our Purdue Friends and Family Weekend. This also serves as kind of like a parents' weekend for people to come, and like an alumni weekend. So what this means is if you're a current student and your parents are looking for an opportunity to come visit and meet the church and hang out and stuff, this would be the perfect opportunity for that. Also, if you are an alumni, or if you have friends in Indy or in nearby areas that came to school here or that came through the campus ministry here, this is the time that we gather everybody back together and watch a football game, have a cookout, have a church service, and we get different people speaking that have been part of the church here in the past. So this is November 1st and 2nd. I believe the cookout and the football game is going to be at my parents' house. Church is going to be here that weekend, so that'll be great. But that's kind of a save the date for that. I believe. For the ladies, I think Tori posted something about the Mercy Me concert. So if you're interested in that, Tori made a Slack post about that, and I'll call Cole up for the camping.
Come on, Cole.
All right. So, all your camping trip information. There we go. So, on Friday, camp setup can begin after 3 o'clock, is the site rules. So, that gives you until about 7 to kind of set up your tents and everything. There will be campsite assignments that I will send out either today or tomorrow. We have 6 of our 8, so there'll be a couple of the sites will have 2 tents set up, a couple you'll be on your own. And we have sites 8 through 11, which are all right next to each other, and should be right around the end curve by each other. So we should have a nice area for ourselves at the end. Should you make dinner Friday night? Question. Good question. That's your call. Worship night begins at 7. It's really going to depend if you have time to set up and cook before then. At 7 is the worship night at this building, at the park itself, on the other side of the campground. And we will be at this building on church on Sunday as well. 11 p.m. or when it gets really, really dark, we're also going to do some stargazing Friday night, weather permitting. Speaking of which, as far as rain goes, right now rain is forecasted on Friday morning and Sunday afternoon, so hopefully it stays. Yeah, so please pray for that so we can have just a great weekend together. Saturday, you can get up as early as you'd like. At 9 a.m. Noah will be leading a devotional for us in the morning, with some more free time before 11, in which we'll have a family field day, and have a good time with some short games and activities and contests for people of all ages. And then most of the rest of the day will be all yours to decide what you want to do. If you want to go to Feast of the Hunter's Moon, if you want to go hiking, if you want to go disc golf, or whatever. That's up to you to decide, especially as people that aren't camping but want to join us for the day come in and explore the nature around us. For lunch on Saturday, I would recommend either eating at the feast or making your own sandwiches or something easy just to maximize your time, so you're not having to make another campfire and cook lunch. The only other thing for Saturday is around 8 o'clock or so in the evening. We'll have some time of kind of a led prayer time, just to kind of settle for the day after the kids go down and everything, just to kind of bond together. Sunday morning, breakfast and wake up is your call. At 10:30, we'll be back at the same building that we had worship night at, the A-frame. And we'll have really until 5 o'clock that night to pack up and clean up after ourselves after church, so don't have to worry about packing up before church. That's the main points. I'm going to be sending out camping assignments later this week, and I will list everything in an announcement in Slack for everyone, as well with some pictures of where everything's at, as far as how to get to it. Besides that, we still have 2 spots open. If anything changes and people want to camp with us, that'll be great. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and give it up to Timothy now. He'll introduce himself as he gets up here, but give him a nice welcome this morning.
Morning, church. Morning. Try to adjust this stand too. First with good. I really appreciated the worship, so to the worship team, thank you. I was trying to sing the Encourage My Soul song, and I was trying to hit that baritone, and I felt myself getting lightheaded. I think I'm at that age, I can't push myself too much. Hopefully this goes well. And I also wanted to say thank you to Zach. Yeah, thank you for your communion. I felt pretty touched by that because I went to school in Minnesota, and during that time in my life, I was searching for like that kind of authentic faith that you have in that community, and I didn't find it until like years later. So I just think it's very beautiful, like having authentic faith here with these students. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Timothy. I am from the Indianapolis Church, the West Region. This is my family. My beautiful wife, Tramisha, is here, and our son is in the kids' care, Harley. I'm also here with my mom. So if you've been down to Indy, you might have seen me on keys. I play piano down there, and my wife and I also lead the Young Families Family Group. So we're really honored to be up here. This is my first time being here in Lafayette at this campus. Every time you guys come down, it's like a burst of energy, so it's good to see like the source of where that's coming from. Good energy. Great. So today I'm going to be continuing your series, I think, on redemption. Yeah. And I'm going to be looking specifically at the life of David as a model. And if I could sum up my sermon in just 2 sentences, it would be 1, God is for us. 2, because God is for us, therefore we can trust him. And so I'd like to look at David's life as an example of how he trusted in God and how God redeemed him at various points in his journey. And before that, I want to take a look at 3 small stories in the Old Testament that paint a good picture of God's character, something David would have known and known to trust in. And then lastly, we're going to see how we can apply this to our own lives. Okay, so my first point, God is for us. I know this sounds, basic, but how deeply do we really understand this? Oftentimes I find myself knowing this intellectually, and then when I'm going through certain periods in my life, I don't really feel that, that God is for me.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do today is look at how God really is for us in the dark times, the deep times of our lives.
Yeah.
The first story that I want to talk about is from the book of Genesis with Hagar, who was the maidservant of Abraham. And so the context is Abraham has been promised his son, Isaac, from God, and he's waiting a long time. Sarah's barren, she can't bear a son. And at some point, Abraham decides, well, if God promised me a son, maybe I gotta help him out a little bit. So he takes his wife, Sarah, her maidservant, and they sleep together and produce a child. But Ishmael was not the child of promise. And as the story continues, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of brokenness in this situation.
Yeah.
And Sarah and Isaac and Ishmael and Hagar are there's a rift, and they're growing apart, there's competition and rivalry, and it boils to the point where they just decide to send her off, to say, go away from here, it's too much trouble for us to have you with us. And so Hagar is sent off into the desert with just a little bit of bread and water, and she gets to the end of her rope, literally starving to death, dying of thirst, and she cries out to God, and God shows up for her in a way that's actually rare in the Old Testament. He shows up in the form of the angel of the Lord, which some believe is actually Jesus himself showing up and visiting. And the Lord in Genesis chapter 16, verses 6 through 10, he speaks to her, and he encourages her, and he gives her hope, and he gives her basically a promise to her son Ishmael. And I'll just read this last verse here, verse 10. The angel added, I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count. So God blesses Hagar, he blesses Ishmael. They end up living and surviving, and Ishmael ends up becoming like a father of many nations. And I think this story is very beautiful because Hagar was somebody who you wouldn't think would be qualified to receive a visit from possibly Jesus Christ. She was a foreigner within the household of Abraham. She was the lowest of the low. She was a female servant. And God met her personally exactly where she was, like on the brink of death, in the middle of the desert. It's just very beautiful. The second story I want to talk about is how God not only encourages, like he encouraged Hagar, but God will sustain. Well, he will sustain us. So the story of Jonah is he went to preach to the Ninevites. They repented. He was disappointed in their repentance, even though that was his mission. And after that, he's sulking. He's complaining, which is pretty evil if you think about it. Like, you are the representative of God. At that point, you're a prophet. And you are angry at people for not rejecting God and then living. So Jonah is not in a good spot in his heart and in front of God. And imagine that Jonah is your son and you're a good father. How would you react to your son in this situation? Probably would reprimand him. You'd be upset. You'd be disappointed because he's disappointed you. And I'm sure that God did feel those things, but what's remarkable is how he speaks to Jonah in this time. If we go to Jonah chapter 4, verses 4 through 8, I'll just read it quickly. It says, this is just God replying to Jonah's complaining and griping. But the Lord replied, is it right for you to be angry? Jonah had gone and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in the shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord provided a leafy plant and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about that. Now to stop there, the follow-up is God gets rid of the plant, but we're focusing on the provision here. So this to me is very beautiful because God spoke tenderly to Jonah and he asked him a question, is it right for you to be angry? He didn't say, what are you doing? Like, this is a sinful heart. Like, this is not fit for a prophet. He spoke tenderly to him. He wanted to draw his heart out, and he wanted Jonah to self-reflect on himself. He was gracious in his words to him. And I like this story of Jonah because it's an example of somebody having a wicked heart. So they're not in the place that they're supposed to be, and yet in that situation, God provides grace. He provides sustenance. He brings the leaf to cover Jonah, at least for a day.